Come and kiss my cayenne pepper lips. Things are getting spicy.
Hot dang! I am so happy to see your beautiful face. I miss you every single day of my life.
There's always something in a day that reminds me of you. It's like I either see Psych somewhere or I see our friendship bracelet.
I wore it for the video.
Shut up. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Mine is put away in all my stuff.
Oh no. I had to go digging through my jewelry box for this because I don't wear it very often. Guys, this is one of my very best friends, Carissa. I was in her wedding. She is a beautiful soul. Okay, so I actually have like a life story about not judging a book by its cover about this because we were in a class together in undergrad, but you sat next to someone who I didn't get along with. So I kind of assumed that I wouldn't get along with Carissa either, right? And I always get so angry about that because then later in grad school, when we finally like became friends, I only had 1 year to be her best friend and neighbor. And I still get so angry about that. After that, like she had this really cool yellow Jeep.
You have to show a demonstration of how you used to like hoist your body up into the Jeep because it was like 3 feet high and you would literally like hold on the bar and like drag your body up.
You didn't have a runner for the feet. We had so many adventures. So then we met at the daycare, and then like a couple days later, you offered to give me a ride. You pulled into that parking lot. I'm like, oh, this is where I live. I'm like, where do you live? And she pointed at the duplex where I lived, and she lived on the apartment on the other side. So we were best friends. We were neighbors. And then you put on here about the skin products.
It was Christmas Eve. And not Christmas Eve, it was like Christmas time. I say Christmas Eve. Clearly it wasn't Christmas Eve because we were at college. Well, anyway, like around that time, I started to have like skin issues, like stereotypical, hormonal girl in college, acne all over my face. And I remember you went with me to Sephora. There was this skincare line. I forgot the name of it, but it was like this whole kit, and it was pretty expensive. So I was like, oh, well, that's not worth it. And you were like, no, like I'm gonna buy it for you, like we'll see if it works, I'm gonna buy it for you. And I just remember like it stuck in my mind. I never forgot it.
Okay, so this video is essentially like a get ready with me video where I am following Carissa's makeup routine. So she sent me a list of the products she uses. Carissa, what's the first thing you do in your routine?
I use this Clinique Acne Solutions. It's Alabaster. It's my foundation.
I use the Urban Decay All Nighter. How do you apply your foundation? Do you apply it with a sponge? Do you apply it with a brush?
I use a sponge, and It's not even fancy. I just buy those cheap ones.
Mine is so old and gross that it might as well be one of those cheap ones. So then do you dampen your sponge before you put on your foundation?
No, believe it or not, I don't.
I am going to dampen my sponge just because with this foundation, if I don't, it'll look disgusting. So I dampen it so it's like squeezy.
Lovely.
Why don't you start putting on your foundation and I shall follow your routine.
Question. That stuff you're using, that spray, is that like a setting spray? What is that?
I use setting spray for literally everything. Because setting spray just like locks things in place. It has so many different uses within my makeup routine. Like I just showed you one that I What is his name?
His name is Charlie. He hasn't seen it.
He doesn't seem impressed. You start on the cheek.
Yeah. I normally start, it's kind of hard to see in this like reflection, but I just kind of start where I know I have blemishes, like acne scars and stuff.
I feel like I'm pretty set with the foundation. How are you feeling about your foundation?
Good.
What do you do next?
Normally next I actually do my eyes. Yeah, I don't know if I'm doing like the right thing. I feel like but it's just what I do, so well.
The right thing to do with makeup is what you do with makeup. It's a big thing for me. Whatever you want to do for your makeup, do it.
Use this. I've literally had this for like eons. It's a Milan primer.
I have that same primer.
Lasts forever.
You tap that onto your eye area.
Yeah, I put it on my fingers like this, and then I put it on my eyelid. Fun fact, I didn't wear makeup until college.
I didn't really wear makeup until grad school.
And then in grad school, I felt like I looked young, and I was teaching. I mean, you and I were both teaching people basically our age, so.
Older. I had like 28 and 29-year-olds. Super intimidating. So yeah, that's why I say grad school. Grad school is when I started dressing really well. Grad school is when I started doing my makeup really well because I was intimidated by like the idea that there were people in that class who were older than me, and like I don't know, I felt like I had to outdo them. What do you do next?
So next depends on my mood. I'm like super moody with my makeup. This one I've been using a lot. It's kind of hard to tell the color for you, but it's like rose gold and a pink, we'll say. Then I'm gonna use I have a dark brown for my crease.
The pink, is it like a coral pink? It's
like a coral pink.
Because I have this pink here.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's cute.
I also have a dark brown on both of these palettes. Show me how you put on your eyeshadow. Also tell me about your work at the school.
It depends on, once again, my mood. If I'm like really fast on the go, I use these little cheap things that are amazing and they work. But when I'm at home, I use the Sephora brush. I don't even know what it is. I'm pretty sure it's an eye brush. It looks like this.
I have this. That's it looks like it's a similar shape.
Yeah, it's like the same thing. Friends.
Okay, so tell me what you do first with your eye makeup.
I start with my medium color. We'll call it medium. So I'm going to start with the coral that you have. Just put it, I kind of like dab it into my skin. All on my lid. Take the eyeshadow out a little bit, and it looks cute, and that's what I'm going to do. I like natural and neutral. Yeah, so school's been going well. I don't know how much you know about where I work, but I work at an inner city transitional school. So basically, kid gets kicked out of school mid-year.
I feel like it's much darker than yours.
Yeah, a little bit. Mine is definitely on the lighter side.
I can fix it, don't you worry.
I work at a school basically where kids get placed if they get kicked out of school for behavioral problems. It's kind of like a little rehabilitation school to get them back into their school. And all the kids I work with have IEPs, individual education plans. You know what that is, obviously.
Right.
It was like a completely different world than anything I had experienced, because obviously growing up I went to like a private Christian school. Our worst kid was like a little defiant maybe, and that was it. Here it's like, F you, I'm not doing anything, a string of curse words, mean. But it's been a really good experience because I've learned how to really, really build relationships with my students and see that, their behaviors, not to just say your behaviors are always a result of your circumstances or you don't have any personal accountability, because you do, but their home lives are crap. And a lot of that has to do with why their behaviors are bad. It's almost like a silent cry for attention and help, So I think it's kind of helped me see kids more of as like my pupils that have to do my things. More I see them as also need me to be like someone they can talk to. I'm not their parent, obviously, I'm their teacher. But it's changed my perspective of teaching.
So I'm using this blush for the eyes because it looks kind of like that pink that I'm seeing in your camera.
I saw that.
I know. I feel like I got the pink in above the eye, out past the eye.
When you do this.
So then what do you do next, you butthole?
Next, thank you very much. You like how I answered to my name? I use this brush. It's like a fluffy one. We'll call it a fluffy brush. It's for my highlighter, like on my eyelid.
Okay, I have this fluffy brush.
Yeah, that's what I use. Yeah. So obnoxious. I'm using this gold.
That gold looks like it has like a pinkish tint to it. I have these two shades here. Okay, I have Angel Fire, which is this really shimmery light pink, and I have this that's white than pink. Which one do you think matches better with what you have there?
I think that fire gold or the rosier gold that you have there that you're touching, that's the one I would put like on the lid.
Okay.
Like in the middle. And then I blend it with my finger normally. I put it like on the middle, and then I like to put some of the gold like on the very edge.
So then earlier you asked like, what do I use the setting spray for? I have this shimmer on my brush now, right? I have it on there. I'm going to spritz it with the setting spray, because then when I tap it into place on my eyelid, it'll just make the shimmer pop. And there are some shimmers that they don't show up almost at all if you don't have some setting spray on them. It looked like you literally just like tapped it right here in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I also go up the middle of the lid.
Oh, so you go above the crease as well?
Yeah, you've always been good at makeup.
Shush. Let me ask you this, because you said that your job has, made you grow beyond the ideas that you were given. If you could go and talk to one of the teaching classes that we got to sit in, what would you tell them that you don't think that they might be hearing now, like in the classroom? What can you take from real life experience back to them?
Two things. One, no matter how much you plan, you have to be adaptable, especially in my field. I could have one kid come in the last quarter of the year. I only have 12 kids in each class, but I might have a new student drop out from another school and come in fourth quarter. So they're technically not behind, but they're not like on the same path we are in. So, you have to be adaptable. I would say that's one thing in college. You're so used to just spending hours and hours and hours studying for one lesson and presenting it perfectly. You don't know how to be adaptable. You don't know how to just, oh, the lesson's not going to work today, because PowerPoint doesn't work. So I've got to just come up with something that will work, kind of like a plan B, C, D, and E when you're teaching. That's for sure. That's one thing. And then two, I would say special education. Down here in Pennsylvania, special education is big. Kids with IEPs are, the norm. But when we went to school, I never even heard about what an IEP was. I didn't even know what special education was. I thought it meant like children that have autism, disease or symptom or syndrome. I didn't know it was just kids that might have learning disabilities or even emotional disturbances. I didn't know all that. So I think that's something that I would have liked to have been introduced to.
Both of those things you just said, I agree with wholeheartedly. I have learned these past couple years, things come up, and that's anywhere. And so then you do have to be flexible and be like, okay, well, I guess I got to swap out this. I have to, just cut this totally so I can make everything fit. I had never even heard of IEPs in college. The institution that we went to, their teaching was very much geared toward the curriculum that they produce. At the schools we're at now, that curriculum cannot be used for many reasons. And so now for where you're at, do you have a set curriculum? Do you create your curriculum as you go?
We create our curriculum as we go. We all use certain tools like IXL, like online platforms like IXL, stuff like that that's to their level. But in a given classroom, I might have ability levels of a third grader, a fifth grader, and a ninth grader. So one curriculum is not going to tailor to all of them. I have to use different stuff. Resources would be a better word. I can't necessarily give a classical education to certain students. I'm not going to sit and spend 5 hours reading Shakespeare to kids who can't read, because I wouldn't understand Shakespeare if I had never even read. I'm going to read them something that they like or are interested in that's also, a good piece of literature so that they can learn, get interested, and then maybe later I'll challenge them with Shakespeare. You have to be flexible.
There are so many different levels of education. in my mind, I was like, you're ninth grade. So if you're ninth grade, you should be here. And then I realized, oh, wait, no, you have your ninth graders who are here, but then you also have your ninth graders who are down here. But then you also have your ninth graders who are up here. And so that is something that I've had to learn to adapt to as well.
So I'm almost done with my eyeshadow. I'm going to take that highlighter color, that gold color, and I'm going to put it above my lid under my eyebrow. I'm making this look like it's such a long process, but I kid you not, I can literally do this in 10 minutes.
It's the recording. When I'm recording, though, it takes maybe about, I'm not even lying, 2 hours. And there have been some days where I'm like, I'm on a marathon here, because I'll start it and then I'll get up and go make like lunch. And then I'll sit back down and I'm like, oh, I got to go take out the garbage. So I get up and go take out the garbage and then I'll sit back down. What next, madam?
Next, I take this brush.
The floofy one.
Brush. I miss you so much. So.
Here we go.
Can't stand you. Brown. I'm going to take this brown. I kind of make like a V. So I'll put it on like the crease. And then I'll also kind of put it down there. I'm using my other mirror for this one. And I like mine really light. So if I'm looking now and I feel like this is too dark, I'll just use my other colors and play around until I get it light. I'll just blend it, you know?
I tend to go pretty dark on all my colors.
All right, I'm happy. I've blended, I've added a little bit more.
Yes, keep posing while I sit over here like poking myself in the eye.
I use one of these edge brushes. I don't know if they call it an ombre eyeliner, but it's like a soft line. So I'm going to use that same brown I used. I put it on my brush and I'll try to do it with this, but I literally just use it like you would eyeliner. I take it into about half. I don't know if you can really see, but that's kind of what I'm going for. It's like eyeliner, but I kind of like it because it's very soft. Do you remember that trip we did to New Orleans?
Always. I always think of that trip at least once a week, girl, because that was one of the best trips I've ever had, best vacations. And we were legit just there for like 2 days, and I definitely crashed your trip because you guys had already taken off. You were headed to the coffee place, and then I called you. I'm like, I think I want to go with you, and you came back and got me.
I was so happy. That was seriously, hands down, one of the best trips I ever went on.
Oh yeah, like, no, absolutely. Like when I think of my favorite vacations, that's top like 2. My other favorite is the road trip I took by myself, where I drove like 32 hours in 1 week when I went to your wedding.
You see what I did? I don't even know if that looks good, but that's what
I
like.
It does. Like
I'm using my light one under my eye. I just like clean up after I've added that dark. That's another thing too, where I work. I've done like 50 million jobs. Like I taught 1st and 2nd grade for a while. I taught, and that was like all subjects, obviously. I've been teaching English or art to the whole school, the little guys all the way up to high school. Really? I taught English for a little while.
How does that work, having that many grades? Because I've never had to deal with having that big of a range from little ones to high school. How did that even work with your schedule?
So, it was basically broken down into like 4 classes a day.
Okay.
I'd have the little guys in the morning, and then I'd have middle school, and then I'd have high school, and then I'd have another program. But how it works at our school is we rotate electives. So they don't have art, like they don't have art the whole year. They have art 3 weeks, and then they have gym 3 weeks, and then they have art 3 weeks, and then they have gym 3 weeks. No judgment here. I don't have a brain. And you are incredibly smart. Literally, those of you watching, she may seem silly and adorable, which she is, but she's also incredibly intelligent, and she hides behind the mask of silly adorableness. But she's
hush your mouth. I have no mask.
You're really smart. You just play silly.
I think it helps people be more approachable, honestly. For me, what's more important is that people know that I'm approachable and, accepting. What do you do next?
It's kind of weird, but I actually go to my blush and my highlighter, and then I end with my mascara.
I do the same thing. Okay, you have an amazing blush there. You have the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-hour blush. So I have this like little mini NARS blush. It's called Orgasm. It is pink coral with like, look, if I go this way, I can see you in the mirror there. Okay. And then like it's really pretty and light and shimmery like gold.
So I dab it like this. Once I get some on my brush, I normally smile. And then I sweep it up and over. Smile, there, up and over.
So we did the blush. How do you do your highlighter?
I use a really cheap one. It's Maybelline. I'm gonna say this is more pink gold.
Yeah, it's because this is a pink, as you can see, but it is a stick.
How do those work?
So I tend to just dab it a lot like this. I dab it quite a bit onto the skin, and you see it's like creating that line there.
That's cute. I like that. What brand
is that? It's called Flesh. It's called Flesh.
Once again, because I'm so angular, I put the highlighter like on the top of my cheekbone.
No, that is exactly where it looks best on you, girl. It is so shimmery and beautiful. Okay, so I have to say, I am loving your shimmer on your eye. Guys, look at that shimmer she has on her cheek. Like, it just shows up so beautifully. But your routine on your face structure is beautiful. Absolutely, like, absolute winner there, man.
We're not even done yet.
Let's go. What do we do next?
Just as since you have the highlighter, a couple things I normally do is I just put a little bit on the tip of my nose.
Girl, I was about to ask you.
On my lips. I don't know what you call this.
This is your Cupid's bow, and I always put it on there.
Bombastic.
For me, something that I also do, I'm going to switch over to my usual highlighter right here so I can show you this. I grab some on the brush, right? And I make sure it's like thin and flat like this. And then I put it on the bridge of my nose from right here to right here. Huge nostril.
So no, you don't.
Eliminate
not when you do this.
I'm going to just start using like double-sided tape and go. Oh. Look at how thin my nose is.
You ready for the next?
I am, madam.
Eyes, cheeks, highlighter. Then I normally do mascara and then I do lips. I want to say this is Estee Lauder. This is Sumptuous Extreme.
I don't use mascara to shape my lashes because the falsies have the shape. Now I just use mascara to coat my lashes and the bottom of the falsies so that they're the same color. I use the Maybelline Snapscara.
You're going to poke your eye out with your mascara.
I hope so.
This is quite a process here.
So lips, what do you do for lips?
Depends on my mood. I'm going to go with the Clinique one.
Okay, can you tell me what it's called, the Clinique one?
It's called Plum Pop.
I have to go digging through my bag.
Oh my god.
I feel like I have a couple options that I could do for that one. So this one is my closest to Plum, but I have a lipstick that is like the Plum Perfect from, I think it's Maybelline.
Golly, is that your makeup bag?
This is my extra makeup that I don't use very much. So these are the two plums I have. This one is called Perfect Plum, right? And then this one's just like purpley plum.
I have this one that kind of looks like that.
Let's do it.
Oh man, this is so dark.
Bam.
My lips are already kind of like a darker red.
Yeah.
Whatever I tend to put on them ends up being a little darker anyway.
Is this the finished look, madam?
Yep.
I am so glad that we got to do this. I feel like Robert is there now. What is up, Robert? How you been?
Good. How are you doing?
Your cat just is the chillest dude ever. Is he a indoor outdoor or just indoor?
Just indoor. I put him on a leash sometimes.
How does that go?
Amazing. I bring him outside and everybody stares because it's so amazing.
This was so much fun getting to catch up with Carissa. I miss her so much every single day. Carissa, please say bye.
Bye.
Bye.